Everything this world has shown you so far ran in one browser engine. Tonight, it runs in all three, the ones behind Chrome, Safari, and Firefox. Same zone, same 2 players, every check green on camera. That's the difference between one engine and all three. But those 3 green lines aren't the real story. On the way to them, one line came up red, and what we did to make it green, honestly, is the rest of this episode. Browsers look interchangeable from the outside. Under the hood, there are exactly 3 engine families left in the world, and they disagree about 1,000 small things. How fast they compile graphics shaders, how they schedule work when a tab is busy, how they cap frame rates. A game that swears it runs in a browser tab has to mean any browser tab. So we took the 3 proofs that have a browser leg: terrain, 2-player netcode, and the art style layer, and reran every one of them full harness on the Safari engine and on Firefox. The 4th proof, the character rig, has no browser leg of its own. It rides inside the other 2 because its night is the thing all 3 engines are drawing. Not a quick look, the complete checklists, each one held to a test that has to pass, archived per engine and wired in as a permanent script so every future change gets the same treatment. That much was routine. Casting the wider net also caught something nobody was looking for. On Firefox, and only on Firefox, the netcode proof failed 1 check. On average, the other player's night was rendered about an arm's length from where the server said it truly was, which is normal. That's the smoothing buffer doing its job. But at one moment in the run, the night had jumped a courtyard's width away from the truth. At that scale, a teleport. One honest note about what you're looking at: nobody was filming when that happened, so what's on screen now is a reconstruction, drawn from the measurements the failing run actually recorded. The numbers are real, the picture is a drawing of them, and we'd rather say so than hand you a video of something else and let you assume. We ran it again, and the same jump came back almost to the millimeter. Again. The easy explanation is a random glitch, a network hiccup, a slow frame. But random glitches don't reproduce themselves that exactly. A number that precise isn't noise, it's the measurement of something. And it turned out to be the size of the client's entire memory of the recent past. Here's what was happening. The game client keeps a short buffer of server updates, a few seconds of history, and renders the other player a fraction of a second in the past, so movement looks smooth even when the network jitters. In this run, on Firefox, shader compilations stalled the main thread, and while it stalled, everything paused, including reading from the network. Any engine can hit this. Firefox is just the one that exposed it. The updates don't stop arriving, they pile up. When the freeze ends, the client wakes up to a flood of stale history and faithfully starts replaying it, oldest first. For a few frames, it renders where the other player stood a few seconds ago, and at this world's running speed, a few seconds is a courtyard's width of ground. So the buffer was the culprit, and the size of that buffer was exactly the size of the error we kept seeing. The fix is the rule every networked game eventually writes, and this is the run that taught us we needed it. If the client falls too far behind the newest server truth, it throws away the stale history and jumps straight to now instead of replaying the backlog. The cause was the hard part. The rule itself is a few lines, and it ships with the test that proves it. The worst case error on Firefox dropped from teleport-sized to barely a step. Confession time, because this series promised honesty. The first rerun after the fix failed with the same error. The fix hadn't shipped. The test harness was serving a pre-built copy of the browser game. Built before the fix existed, the desktop side was running fresh code, while the browser side was still running last week's. That's not a netcode bug, that's a testing bug, and it's the more dangerous kind, because it makes a green light lie. So we fixed the harness. Every proof run now rebuilds the browser version from source before it tests it, which means a stale build can't slip through again. A second testing bug fell right behind it, and it failed in the opposite direction. It made a healthy run look sick. One check was there to confirm the server was genuinely streaming the world to the browser, and it did that by averaging the message rate across the server's whole life, boot up included. A browser that took its time starting cold dragged that average down, and the check called it a failure while the traffic was, in fact, perfect. A test that cries wolf is barely better than one that lies the other way. Both teach you to stop reading the result, so it was rewritten to count what actually arrived during the window the 2 players were live in. It now measures the thing it always claimed to measure. Both harness fixes are permanent. They aren't notes in a document somebody has to remember. The rebuild before you test rule and the corrected traffic check run inside every proof, on every engine, on every future change, whether or not anyone is watching that night. A third change from the same session wasn't a bug in the game at all. One visual check gave Firefox 10 seconds to swap a rendering setting, and Firefox honestly needs longer. It rebuilds its shaders on the spot. So we gave the test the time the engine actually needs, and wrote the hitch down as a real limitation of that developer-side switch, instead of pretending it away. The thing players actually feel, the world rolling from day into night, swaps no shaders, and it's smooth on all three engines. We hold the tests to the same standard as the game, so the two harness bugs got fixed like any other bug, and both surfaced the same way, by not taking a passing result at face value and going back over it. That's the only reason you're hearing about them at all. One more thing got fixed on the way through, the kind of thing you only notice by actually playing it. The art layer's night looked gorgeous in a screenshot, but was nearly unplayable in practice, so dark that characters dropped to silhouettes in tar. Night in this world is built out of light rather than paint, so we only changed the light. A stronger, bluer moon, a softer sky, lifted shadows. That brought it up to a night you can actually play. Still unmistakably night, but you can see the world in it. And because this project doesn't do one-off tweaks, we wired the fix in as a rule the harness enforces. Any future change that makes night dip below the playable floor, or wash out past still reads as night, now fails the tests automatically. The night stays tuned, and it can't quietly drift back into tar without something catching it. 4 proofs, 3 engines, every check green, and the game is better than it was before we started, in ways only a third browser could have shown. Still small, 2 nights, 1 meadow, but everything it does today, it does on all 3 of the engines the web actually runs on, not just the one we happened to test first. All 3 ran on the same local hardware, so hardware variety is a test we still owe you, and it's on the list. That's the point of tonight. The Zone server is packed and waiting, and next, this world leaves local hardware and moves to the cloud.